Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I hope everybody is doing well. I know times are hard right now with COVID, but I know also we're getting time off to spend with our families for the holiday, and let's turn it into a positive and spend that time with our families and love them with every bit that we have to give them, because without family, you really have nothing. So today I wanted to make this video because I'm kind of aggravated on some stuff I'm seeing out there on YouTube with the Chris Watts case. So I'm going to skip over the videos that I was planning to do and jump onto this one and give my own opinions and thoughts on this new channel. I don't really remember or care to even announce the name of it because I don't believe anybody should go over there. It's a waste of your time. And it's time that you cannot get back from your life. So I would suggest you guys stay away from this channel and don't be fooled by this person on this channel who is feeding a bunch of made up, not even theories, just blatant lies, hoping to accomplish something with Chris or the family or fame, notoriety, something, because nothing positive or good can come out of this situation or what she's doing. So I'm going to start off by reading from my notes. Let me see, because this is horrible, the lighting in here. And then I will interject some of my other opinions that I am disgusted with this situation and this case, as she wants to make it seem. So let me see, I'm trying to get my lighting right in here. Let me try it like this. Okay. This new channel, it's been just spreading lies. Lies being spread in murderous Watts case. If you happen to come across a pro Chris Watts channel, I suggest stay away from it. A lot of these channels, like I said, are just asking for problems and can end up costing you your mental health and maybe physical. But this one, if you listen to everything I say and you happen to come across of it, get away from it. If you are watching and you know what channel I'm talking about, you already know. It's garbage. Okay. Lies being spread in murderous Chris Watts case. New channel misleading the people. It's disgusting. Trying to save and fight for a lying murderer, especially one who puts his own children in oil tanks. Again, how disgusting. The people on the Watts side of the case, which isn't just the Watts family, I'm talking about Watts channels and pro-Watts people. Okay. They will threaten, go after people mentally, emotionally, physically, even death threats. Stalking, getting personal information about people and putting it out, basically trying to get people to attack you or hurt you. And there has been incidences where people have shown up at people's houses and attacked them. So be very careful. These are very dangerous people. To make people terrified to stop putting the truth and facts about the case out there. While they put out lies and spin their own theories, made up theories for money, as they bash the victim and attack. Like was done to those babies, is no big deal. basically, they're very dangerous people. Like I said, they will go to any length to spin their crazy narrative and stop people from investigating the truth. This channel, I believe, is doing it mainly for money. Then she has her own selfish reasons. I believe she's also doing it, but it's mainly for money. And then, like I said, where I kind of got choppy, as they bash the victim and act like what was done to those babies is no big deal. Sorry, when I'm jotting notes, sometimes I don't say the whole sentence when I'm jotting because I'm in my next thought. So, sorry that was chopped up at first. She had made some statements, basically like, what happened to the babies? Oh, well, you know, no big deal. She's just vindicating Chris in her own way. And that disgusted and upset a lot of people. These victims were murdered. No matter what else is said or what else happened in these people's lives, this pregnant mother and 3 innocent babies were murdered. And 2 of those poor babies were thrown down into crude oil tanks at his workplace, where there was a plan made by him to be that morning, period. Those are facts. Those are facts from the case. Okay? So, I don't know how you think you're going to get out of the fact that he took the children to his workplace, as now she's admitting, but she's saying he did it for different reasons. He just didn't know what else to do. Well, you don't put them in your truck and take them to a hot field where the bodies are going to start decomposing and stinking and blowing up. You would, if you were in shock, first of all, normal people call 911. Second, if he did something and freaked out and was in shock, most people walk outside and walk around like dazed, or, you know, leave the bodies at home at least. You don't take them with you. So, and that last one is a stretch. So what I'm saying is this was not the plan. He was not in shock. He took them to the oil field because it was part of their plan. He was not in shock is what I was saying. The only truth that normal people are looking for, and this was the original people studying this case before the Netflix was released. Now there's new people. But prior to that, the only truth that normal people are looking for and want answers for, because of many of findings and actions that don't make sense in the investigation and with the mistress, is her involvement. There is questionable evidence that she was, in my opinion and many others, involved. Beyond that, there is nothing else to discuss unless Chris someday does really find God and finally wants to tell the whole truth. But could you actually believe him at that point? Especially after this channel and all this shenanigans that is absolute ludicrous. Okay. That would be the only question then, like I just said. No one deserves to be murdered, no matter what. Normal people don't kill or plan a killing. Either way, he is guilty. Whether he did it himself or he was part of the plan, he is just as culpable and guilty as if he actually did it himself. And that's with any murder or felony crime in that high of a felony case. If you are even in the car and know of it and knew it was going to happen, especially in murder cases, you are just as guilty. Let's say, for instance, me and a friend. I plan on going and shooting my boyfriend, and my friend is riding along, and she knows I'm going to do it, but does nothing to stop me. And I shoot and kill him, and she was just riding along, but had no part in it. Her just being there is just as guilty. She did nothing to stop it. She didn't try to stop me. She didn't call for help. She is just as guilty. Same thing. Either way, he is going to be punished in the same way. Now, he may get some little bit of time off of his sentence, but he's still guilty. He's still going to be in jail for a while. It would be best if he came clean, because he might get enough time off that he'll get out before he dies, and maybe not. But it's better to, again, if you seriously have found God, to tell the truth and make the other people be punished as well. And maybe someday you'll see the outside of a prison again. I would risk that to bring the other people to justice that killed my family and helped me with this, or pushed me into this, or was a part or involved in this. I dang sure wouldn't be sitting in there alone. And again, if you want to make it right with God, that's what you do. You're supposed to confess and then ask for mercy. Then people would believe you're sincere, because all that you're saying now is just blah, 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 blah. It's just what prisoners do and murderers do when they want some kind of, which Chris is that type of person, wants people to look at him in a better light. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he really has found God. Maybe he's a better person now. Well, that will not happen until the day he tells the whole truth. Sorry. That would be the evidence that we're looking for, because that's what you really do when you're asking for forgiveness. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to go on to the mistress. This is what makes us believe that she is involved. There's also a picture out there floating around of a female coming out the garage that miraculously looks just like her. From her ponytail to the bag she was carrying in the interview, strapped over her in the exact same way. And they were dressed alike, but you could tell one was tight-fitting jeans, one was loose-fitting jeans, one's legs were shorter, arms were shorter, other was longer, and so on and so on. There was many differences, but you could see her high ponytail with the bag slung over her shoulder and her figure. So that is the evidence that needs to be relooked at, because they can clear that image up a lot better and actually charge her. Not only that, you have the ping near his house in Frederick. You have the 111-minute phone call. Destruction of evidence, which she should have been arrested on. And telling everybody else to destroy evidence and not talk to the police or make any statements or news. Which in her words was damage control. And Google searches, which said a lot about what was on her mind and in what state of mind she was in when she made them. And we as a group also are trying to get people to look at more evidence we found about her actually when she and Shanann possibly had met, and there was an actual connection where the police were just like, oh, well, we don't know why she Googled Shanann and Chris Watts in 2017, and it doesn't matter, or we're not looking into it. They should have, because it was real. Shanann worked at the Children's Hospital, which most people involved in the case know about. And Kay, there's a picture on the internet of her doing an event there, an athletic event there, where their paths had crossed there. And that's about the time that she had Googled Shanann and Chris right after that. And then on top of that, there's a story of a 4th of July picnic with his job or somebody's job. I think it was his job or her job, maybe with the hospital. And Chris actually introduced them and introduced her as his coworker, but she wasn't his coworker yet. So they were possibly talking at that point for him to introduce NK to Shanann as his coworker, even though, again, she hadn't started at Anadarko yet. So, again, I'm not an investigator or a true crime. So please, if you want more information on that and the exact details, please go to AD. His channel is the Armchair Detective, No Hiding Place. And go to his channel and you can see every video from the beginning, step by step, to the end of our investigation that we did. And that videos that he made, but you see us interacting as a group, and you can study for yourself and see what I'm talking about, and get more details and actually get the truth of the investigation and also our investigation, which is based on facts and pictures and videos and court documents, not just making up a story and feeding you our fake story of what I want you to think happened, which is what this channel that Kim runs does. Also, let's see, question and answer in Google searches, damage control, in her own words, the missed clock in, the evidence that she did not clock in to work the morning that the murders happened. Why would you not clock in and it be the only time you did not clock in? Because she didn't want people to know what time she arrived at work. She only punched out that day. Not only that, if you put that with the ping in Frederick, which she didn't take that route and has never, in the whole time she's been seeing Chris behind everybody's back, did, I don't know why that keeps shutting off, did she ever ping in Frederick by his house? Now, the whole time they've been having this affair, it never pinged. But on the morning of the murders, it did ping. After a 111-minute phone call. After Chris's phone pinged off his router on and off as he was going inside and outside the house at certain hours. Which one we believe was like right after the 111-minute phone call. Shortly after his detached from the router and then reconnected, and we believe she went to that house, and that's why when she left in the morning her phone pinged. I mean, it's just like too many coincidences is not a coincidence. So that needs to be looked into, and like really looked into, not, oh well, you know, we got our man, so anybody else involved that's a murderer we're just gonna let go. No, everybody involved needs to be where they belong. Okay. You can see it all. Okay, and I just said if you put them all together, you can see what I'm talking about. Go on AG's channel to see that. She should have been arrested for destruction of evidence. Anybody else would have. And definitely been dug into deeper. Later, we connected her Google searches of Shanann and Chris to 2017 and Shanann's workplace at the hospital. NK did an event at the hospital, as I just said, and they met at a 4th of July, which I just went over. Go, like I said, to AD's channel and do your own research for the truth. Not just, again, people's stories, not even theories, people's stories that they want to tell. where was I? This just gets me so upset that any of this is even being said, or this channel has popped up right as everybody was starting to let all this go. And it had hit its peak with the meanness, the attacks, the, just it all settled down. And Netflix let that out, and that stirred it up a little bit. But this Kim's channel, it's just disgusting. It's upsetting a lot of YouTube creators and people watching. So a lot of people who've been with this from the beginning would really be dishonored and hurt by this, because we've actually put in the work to study and find out facts and truth, and did our hard research thoroughly, not just came out and gave you my opinion and want to feed it to you and groom you to suck it in and believe what I say just because I'm saying it. And especially when it's so crazy. The theory is so, or the story is so crazy. It's not even, I can't even call it a theory. Okay. Back to Kim. She talks like she has known Chris and his family their whole lives. Truth is, she involved herself sometime after the murders. She doesn't know Chris or his family, really. She may have talked with them, but that doesn't mean she knows any more than we do. She pretends they know, which means the parents, as she then goes and spreads their lies and made up stories and what they want to believe, because his parents want to believe this story is true, or the story she's throwing up there is true. But none of them know, because Chris has got to tell you exactly what happened that night for you to know. And everything in evidence doesn't match anything she's saying like she wants it to. Even when she's explaining her own story, it's not making sense. And we're going to go through some of those later. Okay. As she spreads their lies and made up stories and what they want to believe. Not her or even Chris's parents know the truth. The lying and bashing of a deceased victim says it all. Again, I will repeat, murdered victims. That's the truth and says it all. If you can sit there and bash somebody who's not here anymore, can't defend themselves, can't answer any questions, can't tell you what happened, you just want to bash this victim for your own selfish needs, that right there proves to me all I need to know about you. Okay? So please stop. This Kim is not a police officer, detective, lawyer, investigator, etc. She is a saleswoman. And that's exactly what she's doing, is selling you her story. In more than one way. And I can't believe people are paying to be lied to. And I'm being nice and just saying that. Do your own research. People are actually on her channel, donating to her channel, super chatting her channel, which is ridiculous. You are paying for somebody to lie to you. She probably is lying about where the money is going to go. And why would you get on anybody's channel who's just lying and give them money? Please jump on mine and give me some money. I'm actually trying to do good with my channel, and instead of feeding some liar, your hard-earned money, or keep it in your pocket. I was being sarcastic, but it's absolutely stupid that people would give a liar money to spread vicious, disgusting lies about a deceased woman whose children were also murdered, and she is the mother of these murdered babies. Why? Why would you feel okay to bash a murder victim? There's something wrong with you. Or even if you're just okay with it, there's something wrong with you. Okay. And again, this woman has no credentials, no ability to be saying she knows the things she's saying or investigating this as a detective. She is a saleswoman. That's what she does for a living. She's some kind of tier saleswoman. Okay. I would really love to know what her real intentions are. I believe I know most of them. 15 minutes of fame, attention, money number one, Chris himself, sickness, etc. There is definitely something wrong with people who put themselves in the situation to get close to or defend or get in a relationship with murderers, which I will leave it there to be nice. Okay. Now, next situation is she gets people on her channel by saying she has this big bombshell information that never comes, and keeps people there by continuing to say this, but again, it never comes. She talks in circles and nothing makes sense, never answers a direct question. Who does that sound like? Watch the interviews. If you don't know who, you'll figure it out real quick. Claims to have something that Chris sent her that makes her just seem so special, and that Chris sent this to her and it's his only copy and he sent it to her. She's just so special. Oh my goodness. No, she's not so special. Because it's nothing special, and there are many of copies. It's not the only copy. There's many copies, and many people have copies of it. The actual item is the forget the word now, but a copy of his book. It's like the copy of a book he wrote with Dylan, his cellmate, and Dylan's newfound girlfriend through Chris. She wrote Chris, and then he gave the letter to Dylan, and they started writing, and they became a couple, and the three of them wrote a religious book together. Okay. She used a book wrote by Chris and his cellmate for her theory as well. She wants to claim that the book is basically telling you about the night of the murders, and that it's telling her what happened. But the book has nothing to do with the murders. That has been said by Chrissy and Dylan and Chris, that the book has nothing to do with the murders or what happened that night. There's nothing in there that connects the religious book and the murders. So in her mind, I don't know how she figures the book is telling her that. But again, the authors have debunked and disproven her story. And I think they would know more, since they wrote the book, than she knows. Even though she's claiming the book is about the murders. Okay. Are you getting any of this yet from this lady that I'm saying? Lies, 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 lies. She even rambles about getting rid of Chris's new girlfriend, his jailhouse girlfriend that he met, Anna. And she says it so happily, like she made sure that she was out of the picture and got rid of her, and they did it for the best for Chris because Anna reminded Chris of Shanann, and that just wasn't a good situation because, you know, he was with her because she reminded him of Shanann, the one that's supposed to be evil and that he hates and that, you know, is the reason why he's in prison and God, whatever else they want to bash her about. Somehow he's the victim and Shanann is the, you know, horrible person, and the I don't even know what to say about that, because what is Shanann? You know, she didn't do anything wrong but get murdered. So he's the victim, and what is she? She's the one who somehow made him the victim, but she's the one murdered. Come on, people. But she said it with happiness, but she doesn't have an interest in Chris, from what she says. She's not interested in Chris, has no interest in Chris. Okay, but yet she tries to now appear more like Shanann. If you look from when she started this and the pictures she looked like, and you look at the pictures that she looks like now, she is trying to look like Shanann. Trying doesn't make it happen. Not even closer in Shanann's ballpark. Just like NK. Sorry, my opinion. But again, no intent and no interest with Chris. Yeah, right. No one believes it. Everybody's saying it. Sickening as it is, Chris has many of women he is doing the same thing with as Kim. She's not his only little pen pal. Kim is just trying to take this to a whole nother level for her own selfish reasons. It's sick. It is just absolutely sick. She is just stirring the pot and causing more problems and giving false hope to his family, and out here and the family more pain, more hatred, more attacks, etc. She wants to feed you her theory, which I say story, as truth with no truth, facts, or proof. And if you don't agree, you're wrong. And she will block you, delete you, and won't let you say or have an opinion even on her channel. She just has block, 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 delete, delete, delete. It got so bad, one girl said hi, and she was deleted. Now, I've never watched her channel. I refuse to give her any views. I refuse to listen to what she has to say. I have caught her on some of the other channels that I, briefly watch here and there, and it was painful. Everybody in that channel said it was painful. Some of them logged out. Some of them, stuck around, but their minds went to jello. They couldn't keep listening. They were zoning out. I know even the lady that runs that channel was like looking like she was like trying not to nod off, or her head was spinning or something. It was absolutely like unbearable. So I couldn't even imagine going to even try to watch her channel. And again, she doesn't answer questions. She does a spin around the question. If you were like, hey, is the sky blue? She'd be like, well, the tree root or trunks are brown, and the trees go up and they turn green, and the building is white, and the lights are on, and the pavement's black. And by the end, she's never talked about the sky or answered your question. That's how mind-numbing it is to listen to. It's horrible. I watched one, and I won't even, if she's on somebody else's channel, I would just log out. I can't. My brain's too valuable to me to turn it to mush listening to that crap. She wants to feed you. Yet again, nothing she says makes sense or adds up or lines up or has anything to do with the facts of the case. So again, it makes no sense. If it doesn't make sense, it can't be true. And again, she will not answer any questions, like I just explained, with a straight answer. So I will leave it at that. Her story is BS. Again, to look into the facts, please go to the Armchair Detective No Hiding Places channel. You can watch his videos from 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, until now, and see everything step by step. The investigation, because we investigate and talk and look at videos and pictures and documents, and you can do it by yourself and look at everything that's posted by Armchair and our group chats. Go through our group chats and you can make up your own mind. You won't be blocked, bashed, deleted, attacked. Go there, please, and be safe in that channel rather than go to these hate channels and put yourself at harm's risk. And you really do. Real life. We'll get into that in a little bit. I have been wanting to say this from the beginning on a platform because I hate comments because only the people who go through the comments see them. But, and this may upset people, but it's my truth and it's my opinion. And again, you have yours, I have mine, just like in AD's channel. I will not judge you. I don't expect you to judge me. I will accept my opinion. I'll accept your opinion, and we can accept to disagree. That's it. This is my opinion from what I've seen and what I've studied and what I've watched with my own eyes and intook. Okay. Okay, that I get the feelings of. Okay, I get the feelings of Chris Watts' parents. And when they're saying, we said we wanted an attorney for Chris. We wanted to talk to him. We wanted involvement, etc. As parents, we all do. It's normal, okay? But it's not normal for parents not to understand that we don't get those choices. Once your children are an adult and they hit that adult age and they do something that's criminal, you no longer have a right in the government's eyes to be involved. Even if you're the mother, father, boyfriend, husband, wife, they are now considered basically a number, as they say, in the prison system. And I've seen it many times where even somebody was supposed to get out of prison or jail and something happened and they weren't released, and somebody calls and says, hey, so-and-so was supposed to get out of jail today. Can you tell me what happened? No, we can't release that information. Sorry. They'll contact you when they can. You don't have that right because he is an adult. And as an adult, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and pay for what you've done and deal with what you've done as an adult yourself. And you can say things a million times, but unless the person involved with it asks for something or says something, you don't have the power. They have the power. So you have to understand that. You can't control him his whole life. And you can't control his situations his whole life. Whatever Chris did, whatever Chris is going to do, Chris as an adult has to figure that out. And that's why he's as screwed up as he is today. Okay? They don't get that choice once children are born. Okay, which I believe that's why Chris is who he is. a follower and has to be told and led by other people, especially women, because his mommy did that his whole life. Chris did not listen to you at this time and finally made his own decision. Why don't you understand that? He decided with this to make his own decision. You have to let go and accept that. You could have wanted to ask for whatever you wanted to, but Chris is an adult, and if he didn't, then the police, didn't have to answer you or do any of the things that you were asking for. Only Chris had the power to make those calls and decisions. Maybe because Chris didn't want you to make those decisions for him. Okay? And maybe he didn't want to do what you wanted him to do. He chose at this point to now do what he wants to do. And maybe it took this terrible thing to happen, this horrible tragedy, for him to finally grow some, you know what, and take control and do what he's supposed to do as an adult. Kristen. Okay. Because Kristen didn't want to do it. Kristen didn't want to do it your way. He asked his attorney. Maybe because Kristen didn't want to do it your way too. Maybe he asked his attorneys to not let you bring anything up when you guys had that meeting and finally got to see Chris. Maybe it wasn't the attorneys being jerks. Maybe it was Chris telling the attorneys, please don't let my mom or anybody start, hammering me and trying to talk me into doing something. This is what I want to do, and I want to, do this. Okay. That was my first thought after listening to everything, including the phone calls, where you all do this badgering to him. To do this and to do that. You can see him actually shutting down, changing the subject over and over again, and then he sometimes ends the calls. And you still continue to bash Shanann as he asks you not to. I feel like you have no respect for what he wants or the decisions, and this has been, again, proven for many, many years. You didn't care when he wanted to be with her. You don't care how he feels now. You just want your feelings, what you think, what you want done. And maybe he's done with that. Especially because of the outcome. Okay. Badgering him to do this, to do that. You can see him shutting down, changing the subject, and ending the calls. And as you continue to bash Shanann, he tells you not to. My opinion is stop pushing your wants, needs, feelings, and opinions on your adult son, like you have for his whole life. Let him continue to make his own decisions as he has been since this tragedy happened. Either way, either way it goes, it has to be his choice. His choice got him into this, and his choice on how he wants to handle it. Let him be an adult, once again. The only two choices I really see that he has left at this time is to finally tell the truth or not. He is not going to get out. No matter what you all do or lies you spin to put out here, it's not going to change nothing. So just stop. Just stop. I'm not going to keep going into what I feel about prior to this. I want to stay from Shanann and his relationship, the beginning of it, till now. So, again, I'm not going to go back into his raising. I don't know much about it. But again, all I know from the investigation is Cindy has always been like this, very controlling, which did mess with Chris's mind. And Daddy didn't help. Okay. Sad thing is, in my opinion, the parents, mainly Cindy, since the beginning of their relationship, Chris and Shanann's relationship, could not act like adults. They still can't, from what I see with my own eyes, and it's my opinion. Act like adults and good parents. Good parents do whatever it takes to make their children happy, not try to destroy whatever makes their kids happy or gets in the middle of a relationship because you don't like somebody that he loves. You're only causing more pain to your son. You should have acted like adults, grown up, did the best to accept her, and tried to help them be a happy family, especially after they had children. All you did was destroy those children's lives, and now they're not here anymore, and Chris's and Shanann's. And why? Because some petty feelings you had? It wasn't up to you. You didn't marry her. Chris did. And you should have left it alone. Act like adults or good parents, nor allowed Chris to act like an adult. You had to let him grow up. Let him be an adult. Now it's too late. The only adult he'll ever be is in prison. He won't have much choices or chances there, will he? Okay, or allow Chris to act like an adult. Pick his own partner, no matter their feelings, and for the goodness of their own son, his happiness, relationship, and family, allow them to be happy or just be. Just leave them be. Like good parents would have. They had to continue to pick, stir the pot, poison the relationship, make turmoil, create problems, etc., trying to destroy this relationship, which a lot of this blame is now on you. You need to take responsibility for what you've caused. You helped make the perfect storm. You may have thought you would just push for a divorce, but obviously that's not what happened. I get why Shanann felt the way she did and felt like she had to protect herself, children, and husband and stay defensive, especially after all those years, and it never stopped. I would have felt the same way. Although, like Shanann, whom you could see was and would keep trying to fight for her family and fight with his parents to keep her family, I might have given up on. Because that just was too much toxicity. I don't think I could have done it. I give Shanann a lot of props for that. Okay, but I also get it. She loved her family so much she would have done anything to fix it and keep them all happy. I've been there, but never to that extent. And when it got to that extent, like I said, I had to walk away. I couldn't live with the toxicity with my children or me. And keep them all happy. As many, many, many people have said, she was a fighter. Her family was what she would fight hardest for. As you could tell in her videos and what everyone that knew her said, she would have fought forever for her family. Until she couldn't anymore, at least. And for all you trolls out there, that throw stones living in very, very big glass houses, there is no reason for her to have been murdered. No matter what you say, there was no reason for her to be murdered. So all your trash talking is null and void. It's just disgusting. You might as well stop. You just make yourself look horrible. And until you have, you don't live in a glass house, don't throw no more stones. Nobody's perfect. Not even you. There is no reason for her to have been murdered. At least she was trying to get help for her and Chris and their relationship and their family, as all good loving wives do. Even Chris said he should have tried, and he should have. But he had parents' turmoil over here and whorish turmoil over here, and he was stuck in the middle and was trying to take the easy way out. And, the mistress was offering all this weird kinky sex and feeding his ego, and the parents were putting more poison in his marriage. Come on, like I said, y'all made the perfect storm. Good job. As for Chris, he is not a stupid person. His IQ, I believe, is 140 to 145, which is gifted level. He may be awkward with relationships and people, but he would know what to do and how to handle himself in certain situations. He might have just given himself way too much credit in this situation. I believe he thought he was going to get away with it. His plan was going to work, but he didn't plan for any missteps. And when goodness stepped in, as Nicole Atkinson showed up looking for her good friend, it kind of rattled his plan, and then it just kept falling apart from there. And once his plan was off track, he knew at that point, it was done, and he just gave up. This lady's trying to spin this story that, he wasn't responsible for killing the kids. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. But to me, here's another thing I've said in comments that I'm glad I can say here today is Bella's last words say it all. It's all the proof you really need. And they're from his mouth to God's ear. And we all heard it. Daddy, are you going to do to me what you did to Cece? Or maybe it was, Daddy, are you going to let them do to me what they did to Cece? Whether it was him or his partners in crime, in my opinion, that I believe were involved, he's just as guilty as I said before. And he got that statement from Bella, which he said all the time, that those words haunt him. That he can't stop hearing those words. So obviously he was there, whether he killed the kids or he watched somebody else kill them. But it wasn't Shanann, because if it was Shanann, he would have stopped Shanann and then had no reason to kill Shanann. So that story does not make sense. Any way you spin it, you cannot add Shanann to it. I said those words. And only he knew those words. And he said them. And those were real. You could see in his face. And especially when he had to relive it. Okay. That's your proof. Like I said, he says these words haunt him. As he said many times, he hears them all the time. Don't think Don't you think he would be smart enough not to say these things that would prove he was at least part of the murders or the murderer? He was at a gifted level in IQ. People with gifted levels and IQs would remain silent and lawyer up, especially since he stayed calm through everything, except when it came to himself, the way people looked at him. If you watch every video, every interrogation, he shows no emotion, doesn't get upset about anything until the police say, when he told them where the bodies were, should we get somebody from your job that you know to help us go and see if the bodies are in there? And he freaked. Oh no, don't call anybody I work with. Don't let any of my friends know. I don't want them looking at me in that way. That's the only time you've seen any reaction, emotion, or anything from Chris. What does that say? Come on. Okay. He didn't show emotion at any other time. Talking about the kids, Shanann, Bella, what Bella said when she told them, what Bella said, and when he told them where the bodies were, etc. Nothing. Even in later statements, when he said he had killed the girls twice and was infuriated. I'm sorry. He was very mad. I don't know why my tongue is sticking. When they woke back up. Innocent people don't say these types of things, especially ones with high IQs. I could go on and on. Watch for yourself. Go to AD's channel. Go through the videos. As far as Kim saying, this is just blows my mind. I just heard this and I can't believe. And I know she was hinting to this earlier when I was hearing things, but this is off the wall. Just crazy. Okay. So Chris is supposed to hate Shanann. She's evil for what she did. He murdered her. He was so mad that she killed the kids. And yet, here's her story. Kim is now saying he killed Shanann accidentally. Okay. After she killed the children, they decided to play a sex game, which I hope I can say that. And in a kinky sex role, he was like choking her out, which is not something I believe Shanann would do. NK, yes. Shanann, no. And during that, because she was drunk, her body didn't come back. Like, your body can take so much, but if you're drunk, it just doesn't come back. But after she killed the kids and the kids are laying there dead, Chris decided to have sex with her and play little role play games of choking her. And it was an accident that he killed her. Not that he was in a rage because the kids were dead. He decided to have sex with her, and it was role play. And accidentally killed her. She's trying to spin any narrative to make him look innocent, even to the point of unbelievable stupidity. I'm sorry. I don't know how I could be nice because this is just stupid. And it's not funny, except that she would think anybody would believe this kind of garbage. That's the only thing I think is hilarious, is that she thinks we are so stupid and that stupid to believe this garbage story that is so twisted and so unbelievable. Okay, she's evil. I snapped, but I turned around and had sex with her and choked her out accidentally during a role play game. I don't know where she gets this stuff. Again, okay. Doesn't make any sense. Absolutely does not make any sense. Okay, I guess I hit the end. I hope I didn't skip anything, because I had some scribbled down notes here. Okay. I also wanted to go over a couple things. She says he freaked out and was in shock, and that's why he took all the bodies to his workplace. He just decided to load them up and take them to work with him. Common sense. Do you really believe that? If you're in shock, you might wander around the house and not leave it. You may go outside and walk in circles. You may decide to leave the bodies there and leave the house. But I don't think anybody would think you would load the bodies up in your truck and take them to work with you, where the sun is going to heat those dead bodies up, and it's going to start to make them decompose and smelling and leaking fluids all over your truck. Because then eventually you're definitely going to get caught, because the fluids are going to be all over your vehicle, your work vehicle at that. Unbelievable. Just like the last thing with the accidentally choking. Why wouldn't he just call 911? It's the easiest thing to do. If any spin on this story would to be true, if you accidentally raged, which was the first part of the story, now this is the next part of the story, but in any situation, why wouldn't you try to get help and prove your innocence by calling and having the investigation prove you innocent? Because if that's what happened, the evidence would fall right into place. But that's not what happened. And that's why the evidence is never going to fit. Okay? And why? Why would you go and put your kids in oil tanks, in crude oil tanks, if you were innocent and you didn't do anything? Again, it doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, it's not real. I'm sorry. Okay, he stayed calm through everything, right down to the last meeting with the police. He has never spiraled out of control. He has never, babbled. So, you could take his words as serious as you can, that fit the narrative, and the investigation. So I don't see him freaking out, taking the bodies to work with him, doing what he did, and then come home and be calm during the interview again. And then for the next several days during interrogations and questioning and this, that, and the other. Again, whether I snapped, after seeing what she did to my kids, this, that, I was in shock. Listen, shock don't go away like that. Okay? It was within hours he was back at the house. He was acting normal at the work site. All his coworkers said he was acting so normal, they would have never thought there was something wrong. So if you're in shock and you just took all your kids to work with you, and now your coworkers are showing up and you're in shock and you got dead bodies, how are you acting so normal all of a sudden? Doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. It's got to make sense. And no matter how Kim or the Watts want to spin this, there's no truth, no facts, no proof behind it. It's a story, and it's a really messed up story. And it's a very disgusting story. Because to try to make Chris look good, you bash victims, deceased victims. And you take some kind of pleasure out of this, and you can tell. I get why you're chasing Chris, because there's just not something right inside you either. And that scares me. That really scares me. And I'm trying to be as polite as I can, but since, I shouldn't be the way you're attacking victims, and there's women who live this and will continue to go through things like this, and you are no help to them or anybody else by bashing victims. And then she had the nerve to be like, oh, Shanann's friends are at fault. Again, Chris isn't at fault. Shanann's friends are at fault. She should have had some friends that were like, Shanann's a little off her rocker, maybe suicidal, or maybe this and that. And they shouldn't have let her go home and stir what had happened up, and then maybe she'd still be here. You are one sick and twisted person. It's everybody's fault but Chris's. It's everybody's fault but Chris's. And he's just so innocent in all of this. And yet she's the one gone. And you could see even the plan that they were so stupid to bring up. The letter, if anything happens to me, look at my wife, and I would never hurt my kids. And then a couple days later, the wife and kids are dead? Come on. Come on. Like, who writes a note out of the blue? And your little story, every story the Watts have given for that note is just ridiculous. Okay? Nobody just decides to write a note, because the way you guys were saying it is that things weren't good. They were talking about divorce, and, the only one out of his mind was your son. Because, again, you're here, the mistress is here, and you all are on each side of his head, and all his wife wants to do is fix their marriage, and she is the one who ends up paying the price for you and the mistress messing Chris's head completely up as if it wasn't messed up enough. And I don't believe he snapped. I believe he coldly calculated the murders of his family with other people involved, in my opinion. And they carried it out, and somebody intervened, and their plan fell apart. Now, no matter what you believe, I believe True Psych Ward and Armchair Detective No Hiding Place, go look over their videos, study the real case, and make your own opinion. Stay away from these troll channels. As I have told you, there's nothing but drama that will come your way and can put your life at risk. There has already been one woman physically attacked. There has been others who have had fake wellness checks called in on them. Their Facebooks have been hacked. There have been sent very nasty messages trying to get people so upset they might commit suicide, I believe, in my opinion. I don't know if I was supposed to say that word. I know somebody, I don't think, because I'm not monetized yet. But they would push you to that by commenting on people who have lost their children's Facebooks and posting really nasty stuff about it, and making fun of it. And they're really nasty, harmful people. And I thought it was bad before, but now with Kim's channel, it's just a whole nother level. And we need to stand together and support each other and not allow this bullying to continue on these platforms and people not be attacked. And if you see anything mean, vulgar that somebody is doing to somebody else, please report it yourself as well so that there's enough reporting to get these people off of YouTube. Do not allow the bullying to continue. Do not allow attacks to continue. And don't allow people to possibly get hurt. If you see somebody posting some personal information, please report. Anything negative or that could end up with somebody else getting hurt, please report. You know, this tragedy shouldn't be able to cause another one many years later because certain people are stirring it up to be a very nasty situation. And that's why I had to come in and speak my mind. I just couldn't take it anymore after weeks and weeks of this. Victims are victims. The people who make them the victims are the people who deserve to be punished, and that has happened here. I just believe they fell short on a couple people, and more people need to be where Chris is at. Besides that, as far as where Shanann and Chris are, she's the victim, he's the murderer. Again, whether he did it with his own hands or not, he's the murderer. And he needs to be there paying his price. And no twisted, disgusting stories is going to change that. And again, the only reason people were invested in this prior was because of the mistress. No other reasons. And now 3 years later, Miss Kim is trying to make everybody or force feed everybody her story. The farthest thing from the truth. Absolutely disgusting. I want to say laughable, but it's not even the right word. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know what word to use, but disgusting. And it needs to be shut down. It really does. And as long as people don't feed the trolls and the evil, eventually they'll go away. As long as there's people feeding that and giving it life, it'll continue. So please, don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the evil. God bless everybody. Please join my channel. Let's talk. Subscribe. Hit the button below. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. I would love to know your feedback. Trolls, keep to yourself. Stay away from my channel. I'm not scared off easily, and I'm not going nowhere. So I could care less what you have to say about me. I know who I am. I know what I'm about, and I know what I'm here for, and I'm to try to bring better and positivity to YouTube instead of all this drama and hate. And I will not allow or stand for this victim bashing or bullying or attacking people. I won't. So it's not even worth going there with me. If you choose to, you choose to. I will do like your buddy Kim does and just delete and block. For the rest of you, I love you. Take care of yourselves. Please try to do something nice for somebody today. Spread positivity and love in the world because we're running out and things are really looking dark. So I got to get home. God bless you guys. Really, thank you for any of you who have watched my videos. I would love your support. I would love for you to keep watching. I would love some more subscriptions. And if you know anybody who needs support or help, please steer them in my direction. If I could help even one person, it would make my day, my life. I have a lot of stories of my own to tell that I'm hoping to get out there, but I want more people before I put myself out there like that. But again, if you know anybody or you yourself need some kind of support or help, please let me know. Contact me. Leave me some comments. My email is in the end of my videos in the description. Again, like and subscribe. And have a wonderful night. God bless you all.